This is the story of Jeal Sutherland, a man from upstate New York. At 57 years old, he seemed unremarkable on the surface. But beneath that facade lay a dark obsession. Sutherland recently stood before a judge, entering a guilty plea. The charge? A chilling murder-for-hire plot. It was a scheme so twisted, so elaborate, it defied belief. Authorities described the plan as nothing short of bizarre. It involved intricate steps and a cold-blooded calculation. Now, Sutherland faces the consequences of his dark intentions. He is looking at a significant prison sentence. A potential decade behind bars looms over him. Justice is closing in on his sinister plot. The details of this disturbing case were brought to light by the Justice Department. Their investigation exposed the depths of Sutherland's depravity. The public recoiled at the revelations. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. At the heart of Sutherland's plot was a single target. This man was not a stranger, but a figure of intense jealousy. He represented everything Sutherland wanted to eliminate. The victim was Sutherland's romantic rival. He was the father of his then-girlfriend's child. This connection fueled a dangerous obsession in Sutherland. His hatred for this man festered. It grew into a consuming desire for revenge. This rivalry would ultimately lead to a plan for murder. Sutherland didn't plan to commit the murder himself. He sought out someone willing to do the deed for him. He hired a man to kill his rival. But the plan didn't end with the killing. Sutherland had a specific, gruesome method for disposing of the body. It was a detail that sent shivers down the spines of investigators. The disposal method was to feed the body to pigs. This barbaric act was central to his scheme. He believed it would ensure the victim vanished without a trace. To facilitate this, Sutherland enlisted help. He sought out a supposed Pennsylvania hog farmer. This farmer was meant to handle the grisly disposal. Sutherland offered a unique form of payment to the hired killer. He agreed to forgive a debt owed to him. A man's life was valued less than a financial obligation. He wasn't content with just hearing the job was done. Sutherland demanded proof of death. He wanted photographic evidence that his rival was gone forever. Sutherland also planned his own alibi. He intended to be far away when the hit occurred. His plan was to be in Myrtle Beach on the day of the planned murder. In early discussions, Sutherland mentioned his girlfriend's potential involvement. He suggested she might want to participate. He even mentioned her using a baseball bat. However, as the plot progressed, Sutherland changed his tune. He later attempted to distance himself. He claimed not to know the specific details of how the killing would be carried out. Unbeknownst to Sutherland, his elaborate plan was compromised from the start. The supposed hog farmer was not who he claimed to be. He was working with law enforcement. The man Sutherland believed would dispose of the body was actually an FBI informant. This crucial deception would unravel the entire plot. Sutherland was walking into a trap. Even the prospective hitmen Sutherland sought were not genuine criminals. They too were FBI informants. The net was tightening around him. The FBI investigation into Sutherland began with a single informant. This individual came forward with alarming information. They had a history with Sutherland. This informant had previously been hired by Sutherland for other tasks. These past dealings gave the informant credibility. They knew Sutherland's capacity for dark deeds. The informant revealed the chilling murder plot to the FBI. They detailed Sutherland's intentions and plans. Law enforcement immediately recognized the severity of the threat. To build their case, the informant secretly recorded conversations with Sutherland. These recordings captured the man's own words. They provided undeniable evidence of his intent. The recordings documented the intricate details of the plan. Sutherland discussed the target, the method, and the disposal. His voice laid bare his sinister intentions. In one particularly disturbing recording, the informant made a suggestion. They mentioned using a van for the abduction. They also specifically brought up using hogs for disposal. This murder plot wasn't Sutherland's first foray into vengeful acts. He had a history of targeting people connected to his rival. His animosity extended beyond the man himself. Sutherland had previously focused his malice on the victim's mother. He harbored deep resentment towards her. His actions against her were petty yet disturbing. He had previously hired someone to carry out a bizarre act of intimidation. He paid this person to leave a dead Canada goose on her doorstep. It was a macabre message. The dead goose wasn't just a gruesome delivery. It carried a specific threat. Sutherland had a threatening message tucked inside its beak. His actions escalated beyond strange intimidation tactics. He also paid someone to commit arson. His target was the mother's car. The car fire had a specific, calculated purpose. It was intended to prevent her from testifying. She was scheduled to appear in a custody hearing related to her grandchild. These previous acts demonstrated a pattern. Sutherland was willing to use others to carry out his vengeful desires. He was willing to cross lines to achieve his goals. They showed a man consumed by hatred and willing to resort to extreme measures. The dead goose and the car fire were precursors. They hinted at the darkness within him. His history painted a picture of a man who wouldn't stop. He wouldn't rest until he had inflicted pain or removed obstacles. The murder plot was the terrifying culmination of this pattern. The plot reached its critical point on January 26th. Sutherland met with the informant. He provided the tools and payment he believed would set the plan in motion. He handed over an Easy Pass transponder. This was likely intended for the hitman's travel. It was a small detail in a large, deadly plan. He also provided a bottle of bourbon. This was meant as a gift for the supposed farmer. It was a chilling gesture accompanying a plan for gruesome disposal. Finally, Sutherland provided the cash payment. He handed over $1,450. This money was the down payment for a man's life. The trap was sprung the very next day. On January 27th, Jeal Sutherland was arrested. His elaborate dark scheme was over. He was formally charged by federal authorities. The charge was using an interstate commerce facility. This was tied to his murder-for-hire scheme. Facing the overwhelming evidence, Sutherland made a decision. On May 14th, he pleaded guilty. He admitted his role in the twisted plot. His fate now rests with the court. Sentencing is scheduled for September 22nd. The day of reckoning is approaching. Sutherland faces a significant penalty for his crime. The potential sentence is up to 10 years in federal prison. A decade behind bars for a life he tried to end. He also faces a potential financial penalty. The court could impose a fine of up to $250,000. The cost of his hatred is high. Upon release, he could still be under supervision. There is a potential for up to 3 years of supervised release. His freedom will be conditional. The case of Jeal Sutherland serves as a stark warning. It reveals the terrifying lengths to which jealousy and hatred can drive a person. A bizarre plot, fueled by obsession, thankfully stopped before it could claim a life.